Even though we were blessed with sons named Finn and Grant, they ended up favoring Camilla, my mother-in-law, who filled their heads with all sorts of nonsense, neglecting us, their parents. After kicking Camilla, Finn, and Grant out of the house, my husband Harrison suddenly passed away. When I broke the news to Finn over the phone, his response was unbelievable. "Dads. We'll leave the funeral and stuff to Mom. Don't want to see the faces of those who kicked us out. Yeah. We're having fun here, so don't bother us. Tell the relatives we're missing it because of work or something. Send them our regards." I was taken aback. A week after the funeral, I received a letter addressed to me from Harrison. Opening it, I found these words. "Please read this where the kids can't find you." Reading on, my heart was filled. Camilla, who had wreaked havoc on our family. And Finn and Grant, who refused to attend their dad's funeral. This isn't over yet. I am Becky, a 54-year-old working mother, employed full-time. I met Harrison, who worked at a related company, at a welcome party for new employees. Despite not being a big drinker, I was persuaded to drink too much and ended up feeling sick. Huddled in a corner, looking for a moment to leave, Harrison noticed me, offered his help, and arranged a taxi for me. Later, I took a day off to thank him at his company, and he was astonished to see me. "Coming all the way here to say thanks, you're a sincere person." After that, our friendship evolved into a relationship, and eventually, we got married. Both of us, having grown up in complex environments and me having lost my parents as a child, had always longed for a warm family life. We believed we could find happiness with each other. However, once we started living together, we found ourselves in turmoil, stirred up by Harrison's sister, Camilla. Before the wedding, when we tried to greet Camilla, she didn't meet us, citing her busy schedule, so our wedding became our first encounter. Since Harrison's parents had already passed away, it was a simple ceremony with friends and relatives. However, Camilla managed to stand out in many wrong ways. She wore a pure white dress that emphasized her cleavage, an outrageous choice for a wedding. She wore too much perfume and makeup, like a stage actress. I tried not to show my disgust, but whether Camilla noticed it or it was her initial dislike, she did not greet me and scoffed. "Harrison, couldn't you find someone a bit more decent at your workplace? Having such a plain Jane as SIL is an embarrassment to the family." "Camilla! Well, she might suit you, Mr. Super Serious." Harrison looked like he was about to confront Camilla, but starting a sibling fight on the wedding day seemed like a bad idea. "I'm fine. Let's go back to preparing." With a forced smile, I urged Harrison, and we went to join the staff at the venue. Despite our initial terrible impression at first meeting, I didn't really dwell on it, thinking we wouldn't see much of each other anyway. But soon after, the situation took a drastic turn. Camilla, having ended her short marriage due to her husband's infidelity, somehow started staying with us. "My ex-husband left, and I want to move too. I sold my place when I got married, so I can't go back to my parents. Can I stay here for a while?" Harrison replied with a look of utter dismay to Camilla's request over the phone. "Huh? Why don't you rent a condo? You got a good chunk of alimony from your husband, didn't you? I just need a place to stay until I find a new home. I want to take my time choosing a nice place to live. I don't want to settle for an old, used house like you guys did." "But, really, are you okay with a house that's 20 years old? I wouldn't want it even if it comes with a yard and a garage." "Will you shut up? It's earthquake-proof and renovated. Go rent a weekly apartment." "Just kidding. I like it, it's like an antique house. My condo lease ends this weekend, so I'll be moving in with you." Eventually, Camilla showed up with her belongings and made herself at home without permission. The main issue was that Camilla lacked any sense of gratitude for staying with us. Both Harrison and I were in considerable distress over her carefree behavior, as if it were her own house. Camilla would go out partying until dawn every night, waking up in the afternoon. She wouldn't help with household chores at all, spending her days lounging on the living room sofa, fiddling with her mobile phone, or watching TV until the evening. Then, after dinner, she would head out to town for fun. Whenever I took a day off and stayed home, I saw that this was her daily routine. After working full-time and coming home tired in the evening, Camilla would ask me impatiently, "Hey, isn't dinner ready yet?" "When will it be?" "In about 30 minutes. "That long?" "Hurry up, will you?" She would also make snide remarks about my cleaning being poor or cutting corners. "Cleaning is split between Harrison and me. He should be tired. As a wife, you should take care of all the household chores." Worried that complaining to Harrison would worsen their sibling relationship, I kept my frustrations to myself, but my increasingly gloomy demeanor must have given me away. When Harrison asked and I vented about Camilla's behavior, he was furious. "Camilla, don't overstep your bounds as a freeloader." "Oh, I'm just stating the obvious," Camilla replied nonchalantly. "And you should at least contribute to the living expenses." "I'm too shocked from my husband's affair to work." "And you want to charge me money?" "You can afford it with the $50,000 in alimony. You have enough to buy clothes and go out drinking. I don't need my brother telling me how to spend my money." Both Harrison and I, listening to this exchange, were exasperated. It was clear that arguing was pointless. Our dream of a happy married life was marred by Camilla's interference, off to a miserable start. We wanted children but struggled to conceive because we were stressed about Camilla. Considering getting tests when, in our 4th year of marriage, I discovered I was pregnant. Harrison and I cried tears of joy. Seizing the opportunity, Harrison urged Camilla to move out. "Camilla, we're going to need more space when the baby arrives. Maybe it's time for you to find your own place?" Then Camilla turned to me. "Becky, what about your job?" "I plan to return after a year of parental leave. I could look after the baby for you." No, we're planning on daycare." "Don't you know? Everywhere around here is full." After inquiring at City Hall and gathering information from coworker moms, indeed, there was over a year's wait list for many childcare options. "See, I told you so." Months later, proudly eyeing my growing belly, Camilla said, "I'll take care of the baby until you find a daycare. I owe you for always taking care of me, so it's free. You'd struggle financially if Becky quit her job, right?" After discussing it, Harrison and I reluctantly agreed to let Camilla help. I was incredibly anxious. But against all odds, Camilla doted on our newborn Finn. She diligently researched childcare online, took meticulous care of his needs, and even took him to the park, pouring her heart into caring for Finn. It was evident from Finn's attachment to her that Camilla was genuinely engaging with him. 2 years later, when our second son Grant was born, nothing changed. Both Harrison and I were swamped with work and couldn't spend much time with the kids during the weekdays, so we were grateful for any help. However, as the boys grew, they began to blatantly avoid us. "Finn, Grant, how about going to the amusement park at the end of this month?" No thanks. "We'll go with Camilla." "How about we go out for steak for Grant's birthday celebration? You mentioned wanting to go before, right? Camilla took us to a fancy steak restaurant recently. For Finn's birthday, we're going to a high-end restaurant. Can't wait." Hearing the boys talk excitedly, Harrison and I felt conflicted. Even after Finn and Grant started elementary school, we were grateful to Camilla for spending time with them on days we had to work weekends. But even on weekends when we were home, Finn and Grant stuck to Camilla. They hardly tried to talk to Harrison and me, preferring to play games or go out with her, acting as if they didn't need parents at all. And things got worse when Finn reached the 5th grade. Whenever Harrison or I tried to talk to him, he would grimace, ignore us, or click his tongue. Once, Finn started eating while playing a game on his mobile phone, and I scolded him. He glared at me and lashed out.
"Shut up, old hag!"
I couldn't believe my ears.
"Ha, it would be better if Camilla was mom. She always gives us pocket money and takes us places."
Yeah, being born to you guys was a total bust. Shocked by their words, I tried to keep a calm tone.
"Camilla doesn't work despite being healthy, doesn't contribute financially here, and just spends her ex-husband's alimony. So what? That kind of life sounds dreamy,"
Finn said dreamily. "Besides, Camilla raised us, right? It's weird to complain about that."
"Yeah, you guys didn't really want kids, did you?" "What? We know. You had us because Camilla told you to, reluctantly." "That's not true. Harrison and I always wanted children. Camilla offered to help until we found a daycare."
I denied it desperately. "I can't believe you'd say that." Finn smirked at me, choking up. "You guys are just annoying. Always nagging about homework or playing too many games."
"Yeah, Camilla gets it, saying it's okay not to do homework, and she even stays up till dawn playing games with us."
Angered, I retorted.
"Camilla has no responsibility for your future. Dad and I say these things because we're worried about you, even if it means you hate us."
Ah, yeah, right. Just jealous because Camilla likes us more.
Haha, ridiculous. Then you shouldn't have bothered having her look after us.
As I was about to cry, I looked up to see Harrison at the doorway, fists trembling.
"What are you saying to whom, you guys?"
"What, Dad, you're home? Working late again?"
As if working late matters with that meager salary.
Spot on. The boys laughed, leaving Harrison at a loss for words.
"To think you'd mock your parents after finally talking to us."
"Harrison, keep it down." Camilla, coming down from her room upstairs, showed her face in the kitchen and shrugged in disdain.
"Getting worked up over children's words?
How immature."
"It's because you spoil them that we're in this mess."
Harrison exploded.
"I've had enough. Please leave now."
"Eh? After all I've done for my nephews, you complain?"
"If you're staying, then pay your share."
Camilla frowned in displeasure.
"Fine, I'll leave. Happy?"
"What? Camilla's leaving?"
"No way."
Camilla surprisingly agreed easily, went to her room to pack her belongings into a suitcase, and came down to the entrance.
"I've packed my clothes in boxes. I've arranged for movers this weekend, so leave them until then."
"Ah." "Camilla, are you really leaving?" "Yes." "Take care." Smiling at Finn and Grant, who had come to see her off at the entrance, Camilla left the house. But even with Camilla gone, the rift between us and our sons hadn't healed. As they grew older, Finn, now a middle schooler, and Grant, in the 5th grade of elementary school, continued to defy us, exacerbated by their adolescence. A few years later, after graduating high school and getting a job, Finn quit within a month. 2 years after, Grant followed in Finn's footsteps, quitting his job after just a few days. Boasting about starting a business together, they dabbled in dubious dealings and squandered their earnings from short-term jobs in one night, leading to a huge argument after which Harrison kicked them out.
"Never come back until you've got a job." "We'd ever come back to this place."
And so, with Camilla and her influenced sons gone, it was just us again. I was concerned about how Finn and Grant were doing, but relieved not to be swayed by them anymore. At the end of that year, as I was about to leave work, I received a call from Harrison's colleague.
Becky? Harrison collapsed at work. What? He's in the ICU getting treatment right now. Got it. I'll be right there.
I managed to keep calm despite the panic, driving to the hospital. After introducing myself at the ICU reception and waiting in the hallway, the automatic door opened, revealing a man in a white coat. Presumably a doctor, who looked at me and then averted his gaze. We did everything we could. I'm sorry. I was speechless, standing frozen in shock. I had just seen Harrison off to work that morning as usual.
Keep next month's anniversary free. Sure. The usual restaurant? I've got a surprise planned. It's still the usual restaurant, though.
I never imagined that would be our last trivial conversation. It felt like my vision was suddenly painted in shades of gray. As I wondered if there was any point in going on alone, I realized I had to inform everyone, calling Finn, Grant, and Camilla, leaving a voicemail message that Harrison has passed away. I got a call back from Finn that evening, with sounds of music and chatter in the background, likely at a restaurant.
Finn? Your dad's.
Interrupted by my trembling voice, Finn said with a half-laugh.
Leave the funeral and stuff to Mom. Don't want to see the face of someone who kicked us out. Yeah, we're having fun here, so don't bother us.
Oh dear. Harrison really wasn't liked, huh? Camilla chuckled in the background.
Just say we're missing for work or something. Say hi to the relatives for us.
Wait, just I was stunned, phone in hand. Were these really Harrison's brother and sons? Emptiness filled me, but I had to proceed with the funeral arrangements. After informing Harrison's relatives and contacting the funeral home we always used, we held a family funeral. The sudden departure didn't seem real, and I couldn't shed a tear during the funeral. But as our usual routine returned, the reality of losing Harrison hit me with every little reminder. While preparing meals, setting DVRs for dramas we watched together, making coffee, I'd inadvertently prepare for two or start talking to him, then realize he was gone and break down in tears. A week after Harrison passed away, while watering the flowers in the garden, the postal delivery van arrived. I took the mail inside, and among the junk mail, I found an envelope addressed to me, unmistakably in Harrison's handwriting. I opened the envelope eagerly, and it began with an explanation of how this letter came to be sent.
I've left this with an old friend to post if anything ever happened to me.
Followed by words of gratitude for our years together, and then a line that piqued my interest.
Please read this where the kids can't find you.
Reading on, I was overwhelmed. Realizing Harrison knew I always worried about the kids, my eyes welled up with tears. I wiped away the tears, resolved. I had to honor Harrison's feelings. Camilla, who disrupted our family. And Finn and Grant, who refused to attend their dad's funeral. Just you wait. I won't let this end here. I immediately took action. Harrison's letter stated,
There's a safe deposit box at the bank containing items I've left. Use the enclosed key to retrieve them and decide what to do next. I trust Becky to handle it.
Following the address in the letter, I went to the bank and entered the safe deposit box room next to the ATM. Nervously following the instructions, I inserted the card into the slot. After entering the PIN, a compartment opened, revealing the safe deposit box Harrison had rented. I unlocked the box to check the contents. Indeed, everything was as Harrison had described in his letter. I packed the items into my bag and left the bank. Later, I invited Camilla and Finn, Grant, to our house.
I want to share Harrison's legacy with everyone who was important to him.
With that reason, they came eagerly, without suspicion. I was appalled. Such selfish people, not caring about anyone but themselves. Skipping the funeral, but wanting the inheritance, how shameless. Camilla, unable to hide her impatience even as I made tea, blushed and started talking.
That stingy man with his meager salary had an inheritance? Camilla, maybe he had hidden wealth because he was stingy. When you think about it, being stingy might not be so bad after all. Did he transfer Dad's inheritance to some account?
Anyway, I can't wait. Camilla smiled at me. You know how to show respect.
Informing your SIL like this.
Well, I suppose.
Mom, don't beat around the bush. Is Dad's inheritance jewelry? Maybe gold bars?
As I looked over their restless faces, I smiled. Before we get to that, please listen to this. I placed an IC recorder and Harrison's mobile phone on the table, causing Finn, Grant, and Camilla to freeze.
Dad's mobile phone and, what's this? An IC recorder, like the ones used for cheating investigations.
I've seen it on TV.
Wait, don't tell me Dad, with that face, was cheating?
Finn started laughing crudely, but his laughter stopped abruptly when I pressed the play button on the mobile phone. What played was Finn's voice talking on the phone with a friend.
Yeah. Remember that old hag, Camilla, you met at my place?
Finn was speaking cheerfully.
Her makeup's thick, and she's always clinging to me saying, Finn. It's gross, but flatter her and she gives you money. Gotta make use of fools and old hags, right?
Camilla, sitting directly across from Finn, looked furious. After I stopped the playback, Camilla, filled with anger, demanded.
Finn, what was that?
Who knows?
Not my problem. Must be someone else. Or maybe, Dad recorded that himself.
Finn's attempt to feign ignorance only incited Camilla's rage.
Harrison couldn't have done that. He was terrible with technology. I just remembered I have plans. I'm heading home.
As Camilla and Finn argued, Grant tried to sneak away, but I quickly unveiled the second recording.
Finn, how much did you get from Camilla? $100,000. I got $50K. What's your secret? I gave her a bouquet of roses and a high-brand bag for her birthday. Maybe I should give her a fake brand.
She won't know the difference anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
Finn and Grant laughed.
She lives for the thrill of getting presents from men, even at her age. Almost 60 and still thinks she's young. Believes every flattery from young men at nightclubs and spends a fortune on them.
She's being used.
Idiot.
Their derogatory talk was relentless.
She dreams of marrying a Korean idol with a big age gap.
Huh?
No way, even as a joke.
Their laughter was cut off when the recording ended. Grant managed a strained smile and muttered an excuse.
When did Dad record this? And to expose us after he's gone. Such a personality. Yeah, pretending to be a good guy, he's the worst.
Finn and Grant's insults towards Harrison infuriated me. As I was about to speak, Camilla shouted at them.
You're mocking people. Who do you think raised you since you were kids? Don't mess with me.
See, that's what's annoying. Always so patronizing.
Do you ever listen to yourself and feel empty?
Ridiculed by Finn and Grant, Camilla's face turned red. Now, it's your turn, Camilla. Having a favorite nightclub, how fancy. I picked up the IC recorder, and Camilla looked shocked. Without hesitation, I pressed play. First, lively music, the clinking of glasses, and conversations of men and women were heard. Then, Camilla's excited voice overlaid.
That's right. I've been grooming my nephews since they were little, filling their heads with all sorts of nonsense about their parents. Kids are easy to manipulate.
Wow, Camilla, you're smart. Praised by a young man, Camilla spoke proudly. I'm single, after all. I need someone to take care of me in my old age. Look, aren't they handsome?
Really, they look like models or idols.
The young man was impressed, and Camilla became more talkative. In the future, I'll have my nephews feed me, take me on amusement park dates, even change my diapers.
Really?
I refuse to be in a facility. If I have to depend on someone, it'll be someone handsome. Haha, I'm looking forward to it. I stopped the playback and looked at Camilla. As Finn and Grant stared sharply, Camilla turned away.
Both of you have poor taste. To think you were secretly recording this.
You've been living it up, heard from relatives. Curious how you've managed without a job for 20 years, living off your ex-husband's alimony, so I hired a detective to investigate. I explained. And this was recorded. Camilla, you're truly interesting.
Not interesting at all. Creepy old hag.
What do you think of us? As the boys made protective gestures, Camilla glared.
Shut up. It's a fact I doted on you. I spent my precious time and money on you. What's wrong with expecting something in return?
You spent money? Oh, you mean this? I spread a bank book on the table, and Finn and Grant's eyes lit up. Finally, the inheritance? Well, yes, but... I hinted, looking at Camilla, who was now sweating. Desperate to flee, she looked everywhere but at us. I spoke to Finn and Grant. Remember what I told you? Harrison had been estranged from his dad before we married. Yeah, we remember. Finn nodded.
Our grandpa, Dad's dad, relied on his wealthy family, never worked seriously, squandered his inheritance, and racked up huge debts.
Yes, that's right. Harrison's mom worked herself to death paying off debts, right, Camilla? Yes. I cut ties with Dad when I was 20, though I did attend his funeral. Camilla nodded. That's why Harrison secretly put the inheritance he received from a wealthy relative into an account, intending to keep it from the three of you.
Huh? We never heard about any money.
Tell us if there's money. He planned to start the inheritance process once you began working seriously. But someone used it without permission. Finn and Grant simultaneously turned to Camilla.
You don't mean...
Yes. Camilla stole Harrison's debit card while he was alive and withdrew money. Tentatively checking the account history, the two were shocked.
$100,000 down to a balance of $5 in a year.
What did you spend it on? Well, someone told me about a great investment opportunity. I thought I'd double it and then return it. I just borrowed it. Finn and Grant were furious at Camilla's squirming explanation.
That's ridiculous. That was supposed to be our money.
Huh, making a fuss over just $100,000. After all the trouble I went through raising you, you should be giving it to me for free. Camilla retorted defiantly, and Finn and Grant looked like they were about to explode with anger.
There's more, isn't there, Camilla?
I sighed and spread out Finn and Grant's account histories on the table. After you graduated high school and started working, I left your college funds untouched, intending to give them to you once you started working earnestly. But that too was squandered. Seeing their accounts nearly empty, Finn scratched his head in frustration, and Grant looked like he was about to cry.
Old hag! What you're doing is a crime.
Yeah, we'll sue you. Stupid. It's called interfamily theft, and it doesn't get prosecuted. Camilla crossed her arms and smirked smugly. Someday, I'll pay it back. Maybe in the next life. Oh, but it can be prosecuted.
That's why I called the police earlier.
My statement made Camilla's eyes widen. Huh?
Indeed, crimes committed by cohabiting relatives usually don't get prosecuted. That's why Harrison kicked you out, intending to file a report.
Camilla, taken aback, asked in a daze.
You're betraying your husband's sister?
Well, yes, that's about right.
Huh? Seriously? Unbelievable. After all I've done for you, how ungrateful. Who's the ungrateful one here?
The room fell silent as I glared at Camilla. My anger palpable.
Because of you, our family is in ruins. How are you going to fix this? Overreacting much.
Camilla shrugged.
I should have never trusted you and kicked you out sooner.
Then Camilla turned to Finn and Grant, spreading a creepy smile across her face. I wanted to be a mom.
Huh?
Since I couldn't become a mom, I decided to take yours away from you. To vent my anger and resentment. Finn and Grant looked terrified.
Are you okay in the head? Just stay away from me from now on.
That's going to be difficult. I came here to borrow money from you. Camilla smirked. Family should help each other out in times of need, right?
Yeah, Mom.
Finn and Grant suddenly smiled, despite being furious moments ago. Actually, we're out of money. Our boss and seniors got mad just for taking a little time off, and when we complained, we got fired right away. Those guys are so arrogant. Finn and Grant complained, causing me a headache. Of course, you got fired.
Why?
Yeah, we got kicked out of our apartment. Finn revealed nonchalantly. We fell behind on rent. So, we'll stay here for a while. That's okay, right? And cover our debts, too. Once we're debt-free, we'll seriously start working. You can spare $20,000, right? Since you're working. The audacity of my son's request made my blood boil.
Don't joke. I have no money to lend to sons who skip their dad's funeral.
Even as I vehemently refused, they persisted. Please, Mom.
Keep it up, and I'll have the police on you too. Never set foot in our home again.
Just then, a police car pulled up in front of the house. Camilla, attempting to flee, was met by the officers at the door and was taken away without resistance.
Are we going to get arrested too? Let's just run for it.
Glancing at me, Finn and Grant gave up on begging for money and left. Learning that the money Camilla had given them came from Harrison and their own accounts. It seemed Finn and Grant finally had enough of Camilla. I don't want to end up like that, they apparently decided, showing interest in working seriously. However, their lazy habits didn't disappear overnight, and they kept calling me alternately.
I'm being hassled for payment at the nightclub, Mom. Can you lend me some money?
I lost $50,000 gambling. Can you lend it to me? I got so fed up that I blocked my son's numbers. They then turned to relatives for money but were scorned for missing their dad's funeral and were cut off by them too. After borrowing from dubious sources and being chased by debt collectors, Finn and Grant finally started working earnestly. However, due to their past payment issues, they were banned from the nightclub and unwelcome at the bar they used to frequent. Life's lost all its fun, they complained. Camilla, being a first-time offender, was fined and released quickly. However, the incident led to her being dumped by her boyfriend. Moreover, repaying me in full for the embezzled funds from Harrison and my son's accounts left her with a huge debt. Camilla is now working from early morning until late at night. Unknown to Camilla and my sons, Harrison had left another item in the safe deposit box. A large pink diamond necklace. The letter said it was a time-honored item inherited from Mom. A family heirloom from his mother, intended for our 30th wedding anniversary next year. Concerned it might be found and sold by Camilla or the boys, he had stored it in the bank. Shocked to find it was valued at $120,000. I've kept it as a cherished gift from Harrison, never intending to sell it. Despite hoping for a warm family life, my relationship with my sons was strained, and my husband has passed away. Yet, Harrison's presence remains in my heart. I'll continue to live strongly, cherishing the memories of Harrison.